Welcome back to Beyond the Sold Sign, Real Estate Unplugged. We are your host and favorite realtors, Naya
and Lauren.
And today we have a spicy episode for you. Now remember, these stories are from realtors and others all over. And so we're not going to share names and locations. So don't y'all try to figure out who it is because you don't know. But we are really excited to just be able to share in this fun way some tips and a little preview of what's going on in the real estate world. This episode for this week we call Privacy Please.
This agent recalls a particularly awkward moment that happened when he was meeting new clients for the very first time. We started to enter the first floor unit of an investment property when we quickly realized that the tenants were still in the unit. Long story short, they were engaging in sexual activity. As we opened the door to the unit, we were quickly and unexpectedly greeted with loud noises coming from one of the bedrooms. I quickly closed the unit door. To make matters worse, the key ended up getting stuck in the door. I quickly started to panic as I was afraid the tenants would hear me trying to release the key from the door by very aggressively jiggling at it. Luckily, after a quick prayer, not a quick prayer, the key released itself and we left swiftly. Okay, well then, I'm not shocked at this story because I would not be surprised as realtors, us walking in and catching someone having sex. I would not be surprised. But man, I feel like sellers nowadays really need some type of sound system that can let people know when they're entering in.
A sound system.
Something to let people know when they have people entering into their homes. Because if you didn't hear someone coming in, open the door, and then aggressively closing it and jiggling the key to try to get it out, I'm sure you had to have heard that. But then again, they said there were a lot of loud noises going on, so
they didn't hear
anything. I'm like, actually, they probably didn't hear anything now that I thought about that.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
And I'm like, did they knock? I'm wondering because as I read this, I'm like, I don't remember anyone saying.
Yeah, I don't think he knocked or made an announcement,
right?
Because he was probably unsuspecting of anyone being in there,
And it's an investment property.
Yeah.
So they probably thought it's probably vacant. So a lot of investment properties can be vacant. Yeah. And so it's we don't have to worry about it. And these may not have even been, they were the tenants. The tenants were still in there. So I'm like, wait, were they squatters just in there?
No,
but they were actually tenants. They were living there.
Yeah. So back to this communication thing. Mm-hmm. Somebody missed the memo or maybe did not care about the memo. Yep. They either missed the memo that there was going to be a showing taking place or they didn't care about the memo that someone will be stopping by at some time.
That's tenants.
Yeah.
Tenants can be that way.
Yeah.
I know you've had situations because I have too. Just walking in and some tenants don't care because that is their house that they're living in, and now the owner who actually owns the house is like, hey, sorry, but you guys have to get out and we're gonna have some showings happen while you're here.
Inconvenient.
Very inconvenient. And my thing is, make sure if you are a private landlord, meaning you own a house and you are planning to make it an investment property, pretty much rent it out to other tenants, in your lease, please make sure you put in there that you will allow the tenants have to allow showings at certain times. So let's say every day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. you're allowing showings, and the tenants they have to sign that contract. They've signed it because it's a lease. So once they sign that, they have to understand and be respectful and accommodate when they are to leave, that they have to abide by what that lease says and the times that they're going to allow people to come in and see the house.
Yeah, that's a great idea to put in the lease because, otherwise, on the tenant side, I understand, they've been living there, they're settled, they're comfortable, and, the idea of them having to move and find somewhere else new because the owner is deciding that they don't want the property anymore, but you're like, but I decided that I enjoy living and renting here, so I understand that, that part for the tenant, okay, this is an inconvenience, but when they say they got a showing coming in, You don't want to be doing that.
No, you don't. And they're like, you know what? They're not going to buy this because they just called us in here engaging in sexual activity. So they're like, no one else is going to buy it. No one else is going to come in and see it.
They're trying to keep people away.
Thank you.
That might be one way.
Some people and some tenants do that. Like, could you imagine like being a tenant and someone just telling you got to get out within 30 days?
Yeah, that's
and then it's like, what if it's during the holidays? It's a new year. Like, what if they have kids are in school, and now you have to just uproot your life within 30 or 60 days. And it can be a lot, but catching someone just having sex in my in this investment property, right? And I'm like, did y'all end up investing in this investment property? Did y'all really care that, did you go back? Because they left, obviously, aggressively. So now I'm like, well, did y'all go back to see if you actually really did like the investment property? Because nothing's stopping me from buying an investment property. I was
just about to say, now, don't let that stop you from making your investment.
Never.
You might have to circle back and go another time, but hopefully that wouldn't stop.
Right. I would.
From making that investment if that was the right property. But I don't know. This like speaks to tenant and owner, or like tenant landlord relationships too. Like, hopefully they have a good relationship, and like the owner is mindful of, the timing of this, so that they do feel as prepared. I was going to say prepared, but as prepared as they can be with that like time limit of, maybe 30 days or 60 days. But like, hopefully the owner wouldn't be doing it during the holidays, or if they have kids like at the start of school, like, it's just good for everybody to cooperate and to be mindful and like think about if they were in the opposite person's shoes, especially in big things like housing and, all of that.
Because we've all been there.
Yeah, exactly.
And for someone to just kick you out of your house, I probably wouldn't be very accommodating. And depending on how good was the landlord.
Right. Like, were you nice to me while I was renting?
Exactly.
Here? Right.
And if you weren't.
Maybe I am going to give you a hard time.
Right. I'm like, if you were not nice and you were a horrible landlord, absolutely, I probably would not accommodate as much as I would if you were nice, you did everything I needed as a tenant. But if not, I wouldn't have. I would not worry about it. I want to know if I want to know if the tenants hurt them, and if they did they stop having sex?
I don't think they hurt them.
Me either.
I don't think they hurt them,
because it seemed like the agent left very quickly in a hurry.
Get this key out.
Not the prayer.
I might have had to leave the key. I mean, they were already inside. If I couldn't get it out.
Why are you praying? Well, yeah. Okay. I can see it. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like,
you know what to do, but I mean, hey, when you got nothing else to do, that's the same prayer.
Hello? And me asking the buyer, like, can y'all please help me? Please. Please help me get this key out of here. Yeah. And have you walked in on someone?
No, someone was sleeping before. I'll save that for another day.
Okay.
Never walked in on somebody, and I truly hope I don't. I mean, I don't know, like, even though I wouldn't be the one engaging in the act, like, I would feel embarrassed, or like, I don't want to walk in on somebody.
No, at all, ever. I don't care who you are. I do not want to walk in, and especially if I'm trying to sell a house.
Right. Okay.
And I got people with me too, so I'm like, everyone's red in the face.
No.
I have never walked in on someone, and like you said, I hope that
I hope I don't ever.
Yeah, I hope it stays that way. So some tips that we want to make sure y'all do not forget for this story. Always knock. And now we don't know if the agent did knock. That was kind of left out in the story, and we're not ones to make up a story. So just make sure you knock, because like we mentioned a few weeks ago that, you have a lockbox so they can easily get into the house. But make sure you knock, because you never know who's in there or who's in there doing something, because it could be, you could be engaging in illegal activity. Right. You could be engaging in sexual activity, whatever the activity is. We just don't want to see it. So just make sure, one of the tips is make sure you knock.
Yeah. Knock yourself.
Yeah. Do you have a tip for them? I think definitely, like you said, the tenants engaging. Yeah. Yeah. And tenants making sure they cooperate with the owners during the showings.
Just be communicative, try your best, owner, tenant, wherever you land in that relationship, like, just cooperate. Everybody has been like on the other side or will be on the other side at some point. So you just want to be graceful and think about how you would want the situation to play out, like if it were you on the other hand. So everybody
agree.
cooperates,
Yes,
we'd be
great
good.
tip. I agree. Great tip.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for today's episode. We hope that you enjoyed today's story and the insight that we shared. And we're looking forward to bringing you more.
Yeah, so if you found today's episode valuable, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, because honestly, that just helps us grow even more. So whatever your favorite podcast platform is, please don't forget to definitely leave us a little comment and a review.
Perfect. Yes. And as always, we're looking for more stories to share. If you have a question to ask, we'd love to hear it as well. So don't hesitate to reach out. You all can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, of course.
Have a great week.